state in the instruction, you have to create the following menu. Okay, so I call that in my case menu homework3.html. And when you click in student report, as you notice here, you are calling a Java server page that is called students.jsp. Okay, in this web page, you have to show all the data that you have in the students.txt files that I'll provide you, that is on Canvas. So to show this page, that you have to do is just use your class student, okay, and just create objects. So you have your class student, and then you have to create another class dbutil. Inside the class dbutil, you have to create the method to get all students. Okay, these methods have to read your file student.txt, and then you have to do the same thing that we did in class and that we did in our previous course. Is just read the file. This is an instruction to read the files. The only that you have to change here is if the special character in the file is going to be dash or colon. I don't remember, so just double check that. And then remember that after that you have to create the student object. Okay, you can use the constructor here. You have the set. You can use for the constructor, you can use the default constructor, and then you use the setter, or just use the overloaded constructor that is here and put the data inside parentheses. Okay, after creating the object, you have to add the student object to the list, to the array list, because as you notice, this method get all student is a method that returned an array list of students. Okay, so after closing the file, you will have to return an student object. So if you, for example, create an object like this, student s equal new student, using the default constructor, and then here you use the setter to put data for the object student. Then you have to do your array list. For example, here I call that student list dot add, and then the name of the variable that point to your object. In this case, I use the variable s. So every time you perform a while loop, you have to create a student, use the setter. For example, if you create an empty student, use the setter to put the data for this object, and then add the student object to the list. How? Just using the name of your list. Where is the list? Should be, where is the list? Here. Okay, the name of the list dot add, and then inside the parentheses then the variable that point to your object. In this case, we're going to hold the variable s. You can call whatever you want, that is pointing to the object that we are creating here. And then you will have to return the list, because remember, at the end of this while loop is going to populate, it's going to create a student object you are going to put the data there that you are reading from the file, and then you are going to add immediately this object, student object, to the student list. So next time you are going to create a new object, put the new data for this new object, and then add this new object to the list. And you're going to repeat this step until, when you have data in your file. When you don't find data in your file, the loop is going to just, you're going to jump out of the loop and then close the file, and you're going to return the list to the method that is the list to your Java server page that is calling this method. Okay, similar that we did in class. Okay, so then when you click go back, detail student report is pretty much the same thing. The only that is different, as you notice, is that you have a new column, average quiz. But if you go to average quiz, you go to the student, you're going to see the average quiz method around here. Calculate the average quiz. So the only that you have to do for the student details Java server page is just populate the data, the same thing that you did for the first page, but also you have to call the calculate quiz average, and then you are going to be able to display that in this page. Then here, the search student but last name. So that you have to do here is, for example, you want to search the last name cells. Search, and as you see, you are calling the page search student JSP and passing the parameter last name. The data, the value for this parameter is going to be cells. So if you type, for example, Omar, nothing is there, correct? So if you type, for example, Barrett, appear there. So here all you have to show is the name of the student, the quiz, and the average. Okay, go back to menu and create a student. Don't do that now. And contact us, just show some information about yourself. And that's it.